we choose the title Take Part, so it's about participation. Yeah. And the Berlin Art Institute, actually, if you wanted to describe it, we always say, yeah, it's a hybrid form. Hybrid form means it's a combination of elements which we know from an international artist residency. That's the one thing. There are different residencies also in Berlin, different residency programs. Then we are also a contemporary art school. There are also different art schools. Also interesting topic, what is an art school? What kind of different practices are existing? And we are also an arts incubator. So we go slightly to some of these aspects we are running. And here you see a kind of list, kind of overview of the programs. There's a studio program, a portfolio course, and so on. So we will start now first introducing you a little bit to these different chapters. Of course, we are in Berlin. You know Berlin, I guess. There's a reason why we are all in Berlin. Also we, for example, we are not born in Berlin. We both studied in different art academies in Germany, then moved to Berlin, like a lot of other artists also. We always make a joke in our institute because at least one in the course wants to stay. Yeah, at the moment 3 want to stay. Perhaps sometimes people come and for a period of time, and then they decide, why don't I move here? So there are a lot of reasons why to choose Berlin, because Berlin is a hotbed of artistic production. You can meet here a lot of interesting persons from the cultural field, cultural producers, not only artists, critics, curators, researchers, activists, artivists, and so on. And we also benefit from that because we have very easy access, also from the background, what kind of projects we did before, to invite them also to lecture at our institute. Okay, so the studio program description is the first we will now going to introduce you.
Yeah, so we always start, we work in block structures. For 4 weeks is one block, and when we start with one block with the new participants, there is a check-in, of course. We are welcoming our new participants, and immediately from the first week on, we talk about what they are doing. The check-in is also, we provide a lot of information where they can purchase their material. We give them the keys. They enter the studios, and they have studios with 24-hour access. They have, so they can come day and night, and also the weekend. They can use the studio and work. And we also have individual and group meetings in our program structure. It means that we are available for personal talks and discussions, and these are the first 2 parts of the program. Yeah, the discourse I just mentioned starts in the first week, so that we have immediately an idea about the new participants, what they are doing. They have to introduce themselves from the first day on, and that everybody else can know and understand where they come from, what's the context, what they are working about, and we can start to interact and exchange ideas. And there is a lot of time also for the artistic practice, because the program is structured. It's mostly running from Tuesday to Thursday, but because they have access to their studios, they can work day and night if they want. Yeah, then we have in our 4-week structure, there is a seminar. It runs over 3 days. So a guest lecturer is coming, introducing the own artistic practice to the group, and then after the discussion, this lecturer will join the participants, go to the studio and have a chat about their practice, give prints, and discuss the work of our participants. And this is always a very good exercise, and also very needed to grow, with the own artistic practice, to always have different people, from professional people coming, looking to your work and discussing it with you. So the same with the lectures. And we have 2 visits in each block, one in the first week, one in the last week. So then we go to exhibitions, we visit galleries, or we go to project spaces This means independent art spaces or artist-run spaces. We have a lot of them in Berlin, and also we go to studios, we visit other artists in their studios, and there's always a mediation part of it, maybe with a gallerist or with a project manager, with a curator or with the artist, so that our participants can easily connect themselves to these places and get to know behind the scenes, how is a gallery running, how is the concept of a project space, how does the art market function, and of course it's network building. If you have been there once, you can go there twice and come back and continue the conversation you already started. Yeah, we have in our institute, we have also, you need this, a seminar area. We have a small reading lounge where you can find a lot of books and catalogs, also from our guest lecturers, where they can hang out and rest. And if they want to rest from the studio, yeah, they can go there. And the work conditions, I already mentioned that we have 24 hours access to the studios. We have shared studios. They are between 50 square meters, 45 to 55 square meters, and they are shared from 3 to 5 people. And this is very important because then you have neighbors when you produce, yeah? There is somebody who is looking at you and what are you doing and questioning it, and you have to talk about it, and then you can discuss it with your neighbor, and of course they come from all over the world. It can be very, very interesting and influential to have all these conversations about the practice. And there is also, yeah, we have also a kitchenette, yeah, that can prepare food and drinks during the working time, and yeah, at the end they get a certificate, which is representing to the time they spent with us. So we have, I mentioned it, block structures, and this means 4 weeks we have 13 blocks per year, and with each block new participants can enter the program, so it's open the whole year. You can start, and you also can decide how long you want to stay. The minimum stay is 1 block, 4 weeks, but then there's a possibility to stay 3 blocks and 6 blocks or 9, or some stay a whole year or even longer. So, or some come, make a break and come back after some months or in the next year. So it's a very flexible structure, and that's why it's easy to enter and to continue or to extend the stay. Yeah.
Yeah, so you see here, just as an example, yeah, so people already book, for example, for next year. Sometimes we are booked out, can happen. Yeah, sometimes you can also, the night before, you can try it at least. Yeah, so, okay, flexibility is one of the items. I will come back later to it, because also what are the tools for bridging, cultural bridges, what is needed for that out of our perspective. And of course, we also develop this with the help together in the team with the participants. Yeah? Also some program parts came into being because there was a wish from former participants. Why don't you implement something like this? And then if you can, of course, we also react to that. So who is coming to the Institute? And so we also thought a lot about access. Accessibility is a highly political thing. Who has access? Who are the bouncers? Yeah, if you go to a club, who decides you are in, you are out? Same in the so-called art world, so to say. It's a very hierarchic system, actually. Also, we can give our own talk about that. And of course, there are a lot of needs to say, okay, let's think about it. Let's question it. Yeah, I was reading Yale University recently was changing the curriculum for art history, studying art history, because they said now we have to change the courses because it's too Eurocentric. It's too much focusing only on Europe and America. We have to change that. And of course, this has consequences. So who is able to come to our institute to join a course? First of all, okay, young people who want to study art or seek orientation. Yeah, that means, That means perhaps you say, I'm not so sure, perhaps you just graduate from school, or I don't know, yeah, and you say, I want to inform myself, I want to explore something. This is always a hard time when you just finish high school, and then perhaps you want to prepare yourself, because preparing yourself for getting access in, let's say, UDK here, or Rietveld Academy, or Cooper Union, or I don't know where, needs a kind of, let's say, restart. And then there are people who already study. For example, you study at, I don't know, Columbia University, or you study in Malaysia, and you say, yeah, for a special time of period, I want to go to Berlin and also to join the course. And then we have people who, let's say, are in creative professions. They are not artists. We also have architects, we have designers, we have musicians, we have cultural entrepreneurs, we have also politicians, we have lawyers. Yeah, so we are open in the profession, but of course you have to prove why you want to join this program. Yeah, you have to apply, and then our committee sits down and says, yes, that makes sense, this is understandable. If this is a wish, if this is a need, why not also to join the program? Then we have also autodidacts, yeah? So if you say, I never studied art, you know, in art, there are also a lot of people who never studied art. Perhaps they have been biologists, chemists, yeah? There was a time then in their life when they entered the art scene in a different approach. And of course, these people are also welcome. And there are also, let's say, professional artists who already, or professional curators and also critics or writers who already have a career. And I don't know if somebody is sitting here, and sometimes you have the feeling, it's a little bit boring, I'm sitting in a golden cage, I'm getting tired, I'm starting to sleep, yeah, only claqueurs always give you applause, yeah, I need more discourse, I also need new input, and also we have again and again people, that's a reason also for them also to join the course. And all these people, and perhaps there's some more missing here now in the list, are attending the same lectures, seminars, courses. And we are often asked, how is this possible to do that? Because we strongly believe there is no stupid question. Yeah, if you only put the MA students and the BA and the PhD and the beginners, if you isolate them, perhaps you miss a very interesting question which can only be asked by a beginner. Yeah, perhaps you would say, we thought about this 10 years ago. So we highly also see that or evaluate that from our experience. This makes sense. Of course, it needs moderation. Yeah, it needs a kind of coaching, and also we mix them in the spaces. Yeah, in the studios. You already explained. Studio is something like 50 square meter. All studios. So we have a big number of studios, and also in these studios they are mixed. Same with where the people come from. So I think at the moment from 60 nations, yeah, often also from non-European countries. Just a short list. I don't know if this is updated, yeah, that you have an idea. Of course we know, or we might know, or we think we might know something about the German art scene, French art scene, American art scene. But what do we know about the Sudan art scene? Yeah, perhaps we know something political news, yeah, which we have here, yeah, in the news. But what do we know about the Azerbaijan, Tajikistan art scene? And that's very interesting for us always, really not to focus only on one center or one direction, yeah, just to discuss what is happening in Lebanon, what is happening in Morocco, yeah, right now, and therefore we need the expertise of these participants to share that. So sharing is also heterogeneity, yeah, who are the people, where they come from, yeah, is a very important expression. Sharing is a very important expression. Stephanie already mentioned the discourse. From the second day on, they starting sharing not only what they did in a cultural production sense, but also their socialization, how they grew up, their disappointments, their wishes, why are you here? Yeah, or what are you seeking for? That's very important, and also then it makes you much easier for the other participants to come back and say, I didn't understand it at all, can you explain again? Or, hi, we had in the 20s in Chile this artist, yeah? This might be interesting for you also to make a research about that. So you just see an overview here of some of the countries. Okay, I know it's always a little bit tricky to talk so sober about that, so perhaps this might be interesting to have a look at just one of an example of a work which came into being. The artist Natalia Scheib, born in Ukraine, she lives in Houston at the moment. She came and then we did a project working outside of the studios in the neighborhood. And the neighborhood where we are in Weißensee is also a very heterogeneous neighborhood. It's the north of Weißensee. The south is highly gentrified to the Prenzlauer Berg. Yeah, the south of Weißensee is becoming the new Prenzlauer Berg, and the north is half residential, half industrial. Different communities live there. A lot of car shops are there. So what you find in the street is very different from what you find in Mitte, for example, if you walk around. And then she decided at the tram station, there are two pillars, you see here, to paint these pillars with acrylic paint. And the one is painted, you see here some images, how she did it, in a traditional Ukrainian pattern. Is somebody here from Russia or Ukraine? Can you imagine that? Decode that? Yeah. Okay. You can explain better. And one in the Russian pattern. And it was really not so easy for her because the first time ever working in public space, which needs a lot of courage. What happens if the police come? The police, of course, came. Yeah. What happens if somebody else is coming? At that time, there was a supermarket nearby. What do I answer? Yeah. So of course, people came and started talking with her. And so, for example, the one person who you see here was asking her, "Who pays you? Yeah, who ordered this piece?" And then she said, "No, it's not ordered. I do it by myself." Yeah. So I hired myself to produce that, and then he was giving her money for the paint, for example, yeah, or giving candies, Russian candies, I think, yeah. So a lot of things happened just by doing that, and I just want to quote her. So she was saying, "My intention with this work is to bring back from memory similarities between each country's mythologies and cultural traditions. It is my way of saying that both countries can peacefully coexist no matter which directions each country chooses for itself. I do still wish for the freedom of choice and hope for a better future of each country." So that was her statement. Every time when we also publish works, for example, on our website, we also ask the participants, then you have to write an artistic statement, yeah, which is also challenging. So, okay, coming back to another course.
Yes, the portfolio course. You already mentioned those participants who come directly from school and want to prepare them for art school to apply somewhere. They need portfolios for their applications, and of course this is a right setting, yeah, for them to get into production, to get ideas, to get feedback what they are doing, and to find their way to produce their portfolio. But it's not only for entering the art school. Sometimes you also have participants who want to apply for an MA program. Maybe they all have already studied art somewhere, and now they want to do an MA program, and then again they have to apply. Or maybe they want to apply for a grant. You always have to you need a portfolio, and it has to be professional as possible if you want to really get it. Yeah? So it's a good possibility to come to us and to get the guidance of professionals and colleagues, and to have a discourse about the production to prepare your portfolio. And we are quite successful in this, so we all have many participants, former participants, studying somewhere and getting grants, and so it makes us happy, of course. And we have a Friends program, because former participants, when they left the program, they said, why is there no possibility to stay in touch, to have access to some parts of the program? So we created this Friends program that you, as a fellow, can attend the lectures and the seminars. You are always invited. It's a 1-year fee. It's not so high. And then it's also not so problematic if you don't have time this time. Maybe next time you have time. So we have some friends. They show up. Sometimes yes, sometimes no, but they are always connected with us, and they go with us to the visits, and they join the lectures, and they are still connected to the group.
Yeah. So as well, we have a residency program. The residency program, in that case, you cannot apply as a single person. So, and in the residency program, we work with partners together. And we have worldwide partners. They are interested in sending their scholars, their students, their scholarship holders to the BEI, to the Berlin Art Institute, to help them to participate in the studio program. And that's a very interesting thing because it's a sustainable long-term project. So, for example, here is Nam Hee Kwon, a scholarship holder from last year. In that case, we work with Gangmung Art and Culture Foundation. It's a foundation in Korea. In that case, it's a state-run foundation. So they're funded from the foreign ministry in South Korea. The money comes from. And they have slots in our program where they send their scholars. It goes like this. They make an open call in their country. Actually, they're working now on the open call, defining the requirements. And then they make a shortlist. The shortlist they send to us. And then together with our partners, we make the selection. And then this person not only is funded the whole participation fee in the program, but also accommodation, daily fees, the complete package. So that's very good if you get that. Same, we have, for example, another example, Ukrainian Institute. It's quite new foundation, also funded directly from the foreign ministry in Ukraine. They have worldwide partners. For example, in New York, the ISCP, it's a very established residency program. They have a partner in Barcelona, in Madrid, and in Austria. And they also, we are a partner of them. So you see here two also scholars from last year, Olya Fedorova, an emerging artist. And on the right side, Nikita Katan. He already has a career. When he was at the Institute, he has parallel. He had a solo show at the Museum of Modern Art in Vienna. So we always try also when we select the participants to say, okay, that's perhaps interesting to have one who is already established and also, of course, give the place to someone who is just emerging, who has the potential and also, of course, benefits a lot if this person can join the program. Same, we have also other partners. At the moment we are quite close to make a partnership with Saudi Arabia, with the Misk Art Foundation and the Ministry of Culture in Saudi Arabia. They came with a delegation last year. Also, we have Qatar. We are in communication with the residency program in Qatar.
Fire station.
In the fire station in Doha. They also have partners, for example, in New York, also the ISCP, and so on and so on. So we expand that network because also we learn, of course, a lot from that network. And it's a long-term thing, so you can really develop something with the partners.
Okay. I continue. So there's also this cross-culture program, this internship program from the IFA, Institute for Foreign Relations. We have since 2016, and we have participants. We had a participant from Pakistan, two from Pakistan. Last year it was Said Ali Abbas. The year before we had a curator from Belarus, Anna Karpenko, and Muhammad Salah from Sudan. And yes, in 2016 it was Istabrak Hussain. He was coming from the Sharjah Art Foundation. And also Navid Majid in 2017. He also came from Sharjah Art Foundation. And they had the possibility, they were fully funded by the IFA, to join an institution in Germany to get to know how they work and make exchange, and then go back to their institutions and share what they have learned and experienced here. So, but because we have these great studio workplaces, and especially Istabrak, he was also doing some art, was doing photographs, and was exploring his artistic voice. He started a project in Berlin, which he never would do in Dubai, because it's a totally different society. And he said from the totally beginning on, he liked to work with people. He liked to go to places. It was also the time where the refugees came to Germany. So he said, where are the refugees? I want to see them. I want to work with them. And he was ready to start working with people on the street. So he had the courage to go to U-Bahn lines. He went to the first station from the U-Bahn line, and he asked a person if they can give him something and telling him a story about this thing. And he wants to go to the next station and give it to somebody else with a story and get something new from this person. And this was his idea, was to do it with every station on the U-Bahn line. Yeah. So, and he did this project, really going from the first to the last station, always looking for people, talking to them. Do you have something to share? And tell me your story. And then he went to the next station and gave it to somebody else and took a new piece and here's the story and brought it to the next station. And he had also the idea to do it without a break, yeah, to start and then to stop. And he always made photos, and he also was taping, yeah, what the people said to him, and he made a small booklet out of it. And yeah, he did it with several U-Bahn lines and made great experience with that, and found people, very nice people, open people. So it was also a good possibility for him to do this in Berlin, where the people are more liberal, more open, and not so shy. Or it's easier to start conversation here. Yeah, and he was very open-minded. That's why it was also easy for people to react to him. So this was a very interesting program. Yeah.
So, just to give a glimpse of what else is happening, a lot of people also approach us. They say, "Hey, I'm not an artist, and also my aim is not to become one, but I'm more coming from, let's say, creative industries, arts tech, or arts insurance, or technology, or really science. But I have an idea, or I have a company idea even. I have to check if I'm on the right track." Yeah, and then of course we thought about it because we're also well connected in this scene. And then we thought, yeah, might be perhaps interesting also to offer a kind of program. So we call it Arts Incubator for people who are perhaps strong in tech. So if I go to the factory campus, yeah, or to another accelerator or startup campus, sometimes the tech part is quite interesting, and the cultural part, so la, of course, yeah, you have the feeling, this also we should discuss and dive a little bit deeper into that. And then we thought, yeah, because we already have this setting, why not also to offer something like a program addressing entrepreneurs, also artists, of course, they are in a way single one-person companies, yeah, in a way, every artist has to, especially in the beginning, to organize and do everything by themselves normally. So we integrated that in the program and also connect these people. We even have grants for that. Yeah, so we also sometimes, if people apply for a grant in the incubator, we say, yeah, in that case, we think we might be helpful, perhaps. Then we also give a grant to these people, yeah, to join the program. So I will go to now the examples. That would be an interesting discussion, but it would take too long. Then there's another format, Spring Academy. This is a 1-week intensive course we always do once a year, and this has a topic. Yeah, this topic. Normally the blocks don't have special topics. The people who join the program, they bring in the topics. But once a year we specialize on a topic. So in 2016 it was contemporary drawing, and then it's really every day a lecture and an excursion, and it's always the week before the gallery weekend. It's one of the biggest art events in the Berlin art calendar. There's the Berlin Art Week and the gallery weekend, which is normally in April, end of April, beginning of May. So 2017 it was about art in public space, street art, urban art, graffiti, yeah, something like that. Or 2018 was about art and architecture. Last year was about art and criticism. And the upcoming one is about art and curating. And then you can join, let's say, day by day, and also take part in workshops, which are always related to the topic of the Spring Academy.
Yeah, and another opportunity is to exhibit. We have a small project space, and sometimes when we have participants who really worked out something, a body of work, and they are ready to show it and also to contribute an artist statement and doing a portfolio and working with us together to mediate it, then we offer this place and make advertisement for it that they can show in this space. We call it 404 because 404 is the number of our building, and that's why we call it 404 BIE. And it's coming from this numeric code from the internet. Yeah, if you don't find, yeah? Because sometimes it's hard for people to find us, and that's why we use it also as a in this term. And yeah, for example, this show was Jeremy Hawkes. He was from Australia. He joined us for 4 blocks. So
also funded, for example.
He was funded from an Australian foundation. Yeah, so it was nice for him. He had a show at this space, and Ornella Buglioni, she was 2 times participant, first for 3 blocks, then she came back a half year later for 6 blocks, and at the end, because she was also really hardly producing, and it was also interesting in her case. She is originally she is a designer coming from interior design, earns her money by working for a company in interior design, but she slowed it down that she has also time enough to join the program, so she was doing both. And she did also a very nice show at the end in this space. And together with another participant she came in contact with during her first stay, Alejandra from Mexico. She came also the second time and brought artworks from colleagues from Mexico, and was looking also for a possibility to show. And they both showed together at the same time, Ornella and Alejandra. And this was, of course, very nice that they could help each other and we could work with both together on the show. And
yesterday's textile sculpture.
Yeah, and yes, the last show it's just now running till today. It's it's an exhibition from Pauline. She is at the moment preparing her application for an MA program in Paris and wants to study art there. And that's why it was also good for her portfolio, to have a display for her work, to have a documentation about a display, about an exhibition. And that's why we decided also, okay, let's do it together with Pauline to work on that. Yeah, we have a long list of guest lecturers because I mentioned every block we invite different guest lecturers, so that if you stay longer, maybe a whole year, every block you will meet different guest lecturers and get another different feedback from different guest lecturers coming from different, not only disciplines, but also mediums, yeah? Sometimes photographers, painters, or sometimes even from dance or performance art, yeah? So, and it's very interesting to also get a feedback from somebody who is in photography, even if you're a painter, or from somebody who's working with video, yeah? They have another perspective on your work, also if you're a drawer. So, and this is how we get, because you know Berlin is so, you have so many people in Berlin, so many artists, it's not so difficult to get them lecturing and to involve them into the program, and there is a big variety and possibilities to invite them. And we are located in Weißensee. I don't know if you know Weißensee. It's close to Mitte, and it has this wonderful lake, Weißer See, White Lake. And we are in an old industrial area. And this is a very nice neighborhood because there are a lot of other studios, artist studios. There are some workshops, people working with wood or metal or with gold leaves or with glass. So it's a very influential surrounding also for our participants.
Yeah, so we just added, how much time do we have? Just that we...
3 more minutes.
Okay, so we just put some seminar examples. There was a seminar by Ahmet Ülküt. He's a Kurdish artist living here in Berlin. He's also founder of the Silent University. I don't know if you know that. It's a university where refugees can teach. It's meanwhile also supported by Oxford, Silent University.
Here in Berlin?
It's based in different cities, happening in different cities, also in different countries. So he's also a lecturer in our team. He also was a co-founder of a school in Istanbul. Very interesting guy. And if he comes, he often does collaborative projects with participants. For example, this was an example doing a collaborative lecture. He grouped our main group into single groups and then said, okay, after 3 days, you also have to give a lecture. Yeah, that means you have to negotiate with each other what is our issue, what is our topic, what is our medium, how to do that, also in a very experimental way. There was in our team is Man Xu. He's a Taiwanese curator, and was last year giving a lecture about the future of borders. Quite interesting project. Last 10 years he was focusing on Aboriginal art in Taiwan, also the problems of perception. Yeah, in the last 50 years. Yeah, what was happening there? There was an interactive installation by an Iranian artist. I don't have time now to surf it. There was also a screening done by artists from India. So the people are really free in the medium. If they team up or not, they don't have to, but sometimes they do. They meet other people and they say, hey, I'm changing my plan. Why not collaborate for a specific project? So, okay, we were invited here to talk about building cultural bridges, with the art, in the arts, music, or let's say also cultural production in a wider sense. You could even extend that not only to these classical disciplines. So, of course, what are our tools for that? Yeah, I already mentioned sometimes sharing, it's accepting diversity, appreciating diversity, decanonization. Yeah, this is a big topic in the last 10 years. Yeah, I mentioned Yale. Here is Sabi Contemporary in the former crematorium, embedding one of the hotbeds for post-colonial studies, flexibility, accessibility, neighborhoods, collaboration, participation, of course, cultural exchange, cross-border dialogue, empathy, yeah, inclusion, etwas beibringen. This is a term in German, yeah, to teach somebody, but it also says, I bring just things to one table. This is a concept of Louis Kamnitzer. Yeah, he was teaching in New York for 30 years, respect, empowerment, self-confidence, crossing that bridge. Will we cross the bridge when we come to it, or will we cross the bridge when we build it? So sometimes we need patience, yeah, to find the right time, the timing, the speed, different timings. Everybody has different timing speeds. Or do we cross it when we build it together? Yeah, then perhaps we can invent the bridge to see how does it have to look. So we were hinting to do it. This is a project by Hans-Ulrich Obrist running the Serpentines Gallery, Playbridge, Come BAI, and you can add a lot of other hashtags, yeah, for using these tools or giving them a name. So that's, let's say, our small insight. Yeah, we wanted to share, and of course we are curious and to get some questions if you want.
First of all, thank you. Questions from the audience? Yes, please.
Hi. So I wanted to find out, in your presentation, I saw a lot of the art that was displayed were basically paintings. So my first question is, do you artists from different disciplines also available to join your programs? For example, photographers and like other art forms.
Yeah, of course. Music, sound, everything. Conceptual work, philosophers, writers, only working about documentation, theories. We are completely free. We don't give any tasks. This is especially for the people coming from school, challenging. If you are, let's say, used to artistic practice, it's normal. Yeah, so no, it's too complicated to screen now the films, because if you screen a film, it's a film work which was done, or a sound piece is 5 minutes. So We have an archive actually on the website. Every lecture, we are very transparent. Every lecture, every event is online. So if you put in seminar, lecture, video, you will immediately find what is published. Of course, not every work is published. We only publish work if it's finished. Yeah? You can also come to us and stop something, to get rid of something. Yeah? Some people come and say, I'm always doing these sound pieces and I want to get rid of it, but I need help yeah, because it's not so easy to get rid of it. But yes, of course, yeah, drawing, painting, but also working in any medium. Even if you say no medium, what could that be? Yeah? So, no, sure. That makes it very rich, also diverse, yeah? That you can come and you don't have to paint. Yeah? We also do basic courses in other disciplines, but that doesn't mean if you, for example, attend a basic course, you can also have fun. A video maker can also make, let's say, attend a, creative writing course, and then think about, perhaps this is an interesting aspect I can take out of this basic course, and you digest it in a very different way. Yes, so yes, it's really it is a must, I would say, that it's really open in terms of the media.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So the courses, for example, let's say a person is coming, no background in techniques of nothing, so to say, but interested, you know, just want to explore. Yeah, to see, maybe there is something hidden and so on. Because
Sure.
he's a philosopher and, you know, he wants to put it in the creative. So how do you take it, such a diverse audience? Everyone is an artist, knows also already how to paint or how to do, and something, so what are there specific courses for everyone? Are there specific courses that is teaching basics, techniques for the non-artists? How does it go?
So first of all, if you apply, you have to also send a motivation letter. Yeah? And even if you don't have practice, yeah, and you just want to start, there must be a motivation, and this you have to mediate to us. If we have the feeling, okay, this person is really willing, yeah, to start something, maybe they don't know what, or she don't know what, or he, and but there is a reason, and you can understand, yeah, there is something which will out. Okay, then we can say, okay, we can, you can come to us and find out what is your medium, what is your, which kind of ideas you want to express, yeah? What is your motivation, what you want to bring out to the people or for yourself or whoever. So that's why it's very important for us to know why you want to come, and then we can say it makes sense or not, even if you have done nothing before.
So if, for example, if you say, I need a painting class every day from 9 to 3 p.m., then we would say, okay, interesting, we will recommend you. Yeah, this school, for example, might match better. Yeah, or this angle is perhaps the right angle you could research. So there are a lot of cliches about, also a lot of discussions about what do you need to do art. The last 5 years there was a lot of discussion about de-learning, unlearning, yeah, if you go through the documenta theories and so on, because we are also trained to think this has to be done like this and then I can do art. But this is often not the case. Yeah, you can study a lot of techniques and you will always find, like in music, there are so many great musicians, but in the band, they never play in a band and they never get to this point, because they have perhaps technical skills, but something else is missing. So it's, of course, a question of dialogue to find out what are you looking for. This is very important for us in the briefing. Yeah, sometimes we get applications like, hey, Stephanie, hey, Ralf, I want to come to Berlin. I want to stay here 3 blocks. Then I want to have a big show, not in a creepy project space, at Johann König in his church in Kreuzberg. I want to sell my work to refund my stay and say, welcome to Berlin. Yeah? 15,000 artists. Everybody waits for you. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so we have to find out, are we a good partner where we can be helpful? Does it make sense that somebody comes with completely wrong expectations and we cannot fulfill that? But this is a thing we always discuss. Often people have this desire, I want to draw like you, because this is so fantastic. That often people want to draw like somebody else. But the problem, or the treasure, lies in the secret that you have to learn how you draw. It's a complete different thinking. And also to accept it. Yeah, it makes you naked, of course, if you draw something and you have this feeling it should look like your drawing. I'm so sorry, yeah. But of course, this is always a big risk in art. Yeah, if you show something, it's a big risk. Yeah, people come and say, "What is this? Yeah, how does this look like? Or is this art or not?" But there are a lot of different pedagogies, and we also talk about different pedagogies in art schools. Yeah? The last 10 years, not so much in Germany, but internationally, is a big discourse. What is the future art school? Yeah? What does the future art school need? Also very interesting books. Sam Thorne, for example, Stamberg Press, 2 years ago, published a very interesting book about artist-run schools worldwide. What kind of different approaches are existing, just adding it on the landscape to state-run art academies.
One question. I saw interesting that part of you have something with artificial intelligence. What kind of examples do you find very surprising or uncommon with the arts? Because I know there is some link there, but I cannot see some example, and I'm sure you have seen.
So, okay, you are hinting out to the incubator. Yeah, when we talked about a little bit about the incubator program, also playing with the BAI, Berlin Artist Residency, Berlin Artistic Intelligence, Artificial Intelligence.
What can be the output of this?
Yeah, for example, recently in London, for example, Daniel Birnbaum, okay, it's very specific, was former director of Moderna Museum in Sweden, just joined an artificial intelligence company, becoming the CEO, and they work now with Marina Abramovic, okay, with very, let's say, famous artists on AI projects. They really work out in the team using this as a medium. And this, of course, this is always sounds a little bit complicated, but it's an increasing thing which is coming, and there's a need to discuss it. And what do you need for that? So you need, okay, a technical discussion. You need an artistic discussion. You need perhaps also entrepreneurs to sit down. For example, if we talk about the incubator, an early example, this was not artificial intelligence, now it's very, very common, eFlux. eFlux is a company based in New York. If, for example, Charge Art Foundation, if you want, or Hamburger Bahnhof, if you want to send out a press release with a very big audience, you will probably hire eFlux to send it out. It's an email, let's say, service. Today we are used to that. But at that time, it was founded by artists, Anton Vidokle, to say, okay, we need this kind of, let's say, technical service to communicate. And they also make projects online. Yeah, at that time it was, of course, a new thing. We also make publications, online publications. Second thing, Shazam for the Arts. Yeah, some years ago, Magnus Resch, probably you know, an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. He is also is an editor, writer. He also was running a gallery. He's also teaching, I think, at Columbia at the moment. So he's often based, often also in Berlin. He invented a Shazam for the Arts, where you can scan the QR code, and then it shows you the genesis of, okay, where does this painting come from? Of course, it causes a lot of problems. Perhaps some other people don't want that. Yeah, because we are coming back to one of the aspects, transparency. Yeah, do you want this, that this is visible? Yeah, so that would be one example. And so on. There are a lot of things going on, especially if you look in the startup scene. Yeah, where new things come into being, and often it's discussed like, these are the enemies and from the visual art scene, and this is the creative scene. But I think that's probably very narrow-minded to discuss it in that way. We should discuss it. Okay, there are a lot of possibilities, and we see that from just from people approaching us, that there is a need even to discuss it.
Yeah, it's very often now that you see that artists working together with companies or developers, because your art practice is always to look through the surface. It's always about analyzing and understanding of something very deeply, and this is what you train through years if you practice art, and if you always discuss art and reflect art, and you learn to understand where does it come from, where is the motivation, why is it like this and not like this, why I have to use this material for this art piece, because it speaks best for this message I want to give you? And this, to find out, this is a training you get as an artist, because you're always looking for reasons and for meanings and to look behind the things and to understand it. And this is, of course, a big, huge benefit also for other professions, yeah, to use this, these abilities to look behind the surface, to ask a lot of questions, yeah, where are the roots of an idea and how they appear, and how to work also on formats, on forms and materials, to deal with materials. There, artists are very helpful to work together with other developers.
For example, Acute Art. Yeah, this would be perhaps a link I could recommend to check in London. Yeah, they are very pioneers at the moment, working on that with artists. We also have people coding, yeah, creative coding. There are also other venues you can go, yeah, in the art scene here in Berlin to say I need a little bit coding knowledge, yeah, or Fab Labs, for example, to implement this into your work and not to separate it like this. This is a tech stuff thing. Yeah, I don't go into that. So a lot of things are happening. Crossing also crossing these inner bridges, not like this. Now this is no longer art. Come on, yeah. So there was always a medium which was excluded. How long did it take to take photography serious as a kind of medium? Took very long, yeah. And then perhaps video and film, and yeah. But of course it will be integrated, and it's already done. Yeah.
I would like to this,
sure.
But we have to continue to
sure.
go to the next session. So I hope that it has given you some thoughts. I already myself thought about, make a synergy between, people who are coming to see how they want to change the world, to people, that are coming from the arts, and to see how we can, translate the wishes, how we can show that through the arts, so to say, because sometimes we do not have the tools or the thinking that the other thinking that the already artists have it. So this kind of lab or incubator could be interesting as well. So I hope that it will only be a start, and we will develop some thoughts to see about something to bring together, both groups. Already it made me, I want to already go to one month and do some, creativity and, and to hear and learn from other people. So it already sounds great. So thank you very much for being on the stage now, and please join us for the next one. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.